Hello guys, so believe it or not, this is the 7.1.6 video, the last of 7.1. You'll probably be thinking, why are you going through the workshop? I got earlier today the 4,000 calendar, so I thought, well, I may as well jump in, or the 4,006 stars, take a few of the, maybe 1,000 or so from Rocket's workshop. I bought some from the Battleground store and opened a 6-star crystal just for you guys. I also did this with the reason of trying to get a science champ, because for the 7.1.6 path, you're going to want a science champ. Ideally, Human Torch. Sunspot would also work, but a science champ, you know, all science champs can be very, very effective. I will run through the reason why when we get on into the nodes, but just leave you with this this crystal first. As I said, fingers crossed for the science champ. Wasn't sure if I was going to get one. In the end, I actually do. I get one of probably the 6th best one, in my opinion, in Overseer. I think he's a great champ. Or maybe, you know, 7th, 8th. I can't remember where I ranked him in my top 10. But he was ideal, so I instantly took him to rank 2, tried to rank him up with as much ISO as I have, but obviously, as you've known, and is a common theme on this channel, ISO is very hard to get, and especially my ISO is very low. So, why did I do this? Why did I want a science champ? Well, the nodes for this path are Clapback, Eat Crow, and Buffet 3. The path is the one that begins with Ebony Mar. But the nodes are the real reason why I wanted a science champ, and why you guys will also want to bring one in. So the best way to describe it is to just read out the nodes, and you guys will see why. So when the attacker triggers a buff, so buff A3, it is immediately nullified, and the defender regenerates 15% of their health. However, science attackers, which is Eat Crow, science attackers gain immunity to nullify whenever a nullify or poison fails to apply to the attacker. Due to an immunity, they gain a Fury passive, increasing attack by 80%. So obviously, if you've got a science attacker, they are whether immune to nullify or not in their basic kit, they are naturally, or because of the Eat Crow node, they are immune to nullify on this path. Therefore, buffet won't work. The attacker won't be able to nullify a buff. And therefore won't get their 15% regeneration. So you want science champs along this path, or champs who are immune to nullify. So I also bring Gallon along, and then I can't remember who else I bring, but obviously Gallon is nullify immune. I believe, I think Civil Warrior is nullify immune, which is also a bit of a strange one. But I'll double check that. So yeah, you know, this path is mainly science-based because of those. However, you've also got Clapback, which is when a poison, shock, bleed, incinerate, or plasma debuff is placed on the defender, the same debuff is placed to you, dealing 100% of the defender's attacks over 10 seconds. So what you want for this is you want to bring in a champ who is a science champ, who doesn't put any buffs on, or damaging debuffs that they aren't immune to. So, for example, if you brought in Human Torch, he is immune to Incinerate. So, although Clapback is on this path, not only is he a science attacker, so he won't be nullified, and they won't get their regeneration, he is also Incinerate immune, meaning that he, you know, when he puts on that Incinerate, it will up his temperature, and although he's putting on the opponent, the Clapback, he's almost immune to Clapback. So you want attackers like that. So somebody like a Biohazard, like an Ultron, would also work. However, he's not nullify immune. So if you put a bleed on the opponent, or if you triggered a buff, so if Ultron dexed, or he, say, he gained an armor up, this would be nullified, and then is immediately the opponent immediately regenerates. So yeah, someone like him wouldn't work. You want a silencer champ, or somebody who works for that Clapback, who doesn't get any buffs. Off the top of my head, if I think correctly, all champs who don't get buffs are science champs, Titania, Red Guardian, and Spider-Man 2099, if I've not missed one. So, again, a science champ is sort of the perfect way to go for this path. However, Warlock also comes in, so what I didn't realise was that I thought, well, maybe I'll take out Immortal Hulk and put in Warlock, because obviously Warlock has that heal block from his infected, so even if you do gain a buff, they can't regenerate anyway, and he is also perfect for this Mr. Sinister. So the ideal sort of champion deck for me was I-Bomb, Overseer, Thing, Warlock and Gallon, as you see there, because Gallon, Nullify Immune, Warlock can block the healing, and then the 3 science champs that I've got. So other good champs for this path, Human Torch smashes it so good. Sunspot does actually work because his incinerates block a lot of healing, and he also doesn't really gain many buffs, so even if he did, they're blocked, and he is really handy. Or just any science class champ, as we've said already, or someone who is Nullify Immune. But again, the path, not too tricky. There are a few champs on it, so this is obviously the one with Ebony Maw, Mrs. Sinister, Scarlet Witch, Venompool, Doctor Doom, Archangel, and then SpiderWitch, who is another mixed champ. Ebony Maw, thank God he's the first one. I hate facing Ebony Maw. I know some people do as well. If you've got Human Torch, it's not that like easy fight. He basically is blocks that, or is immune to miss, so he's a good miss counter for Ebony Maw. And the other good thing is he's the first fight. So if you go wrong, which I know I did twice, I fought him with Thing and it didn't work, just restart. You know, you don't miss out on too much. Maybe you miss out on 15 to 12 energy, but in the grand scheme of things, trying to get this done, it's not the end of the world. This one works really strangely. So I obviously gain a lot of buffs with Gallon. You know, that's his thing. His thing is gaining buffs. But obviously, because he's Nullify Immune, he works. It's really strange. A very strange encounter, but I loved it. Thought it was great fun. It showed his utility. Showed for me why he is so good at questing as well as the short content. The Venompool is the easiest. Him or Archangel are the two easiest people on this path. Surprisingly, I actually used a lot less science champs than I thought I would. Saying that, I used Gallon for this Venompool fight, as you can see, and then I also used Warlock, I believe, for Mr. Sinister and Archangel, I think. So, again, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe that was the case. And then... yeah, and then, but if you've got a Human Torch or really good science champ, I know MCOC Noob really shows off Captain America and Infinity War Beardo, how effective he can be. But you want to sort of have maybe him in your locker to character select out for the final boss, which is SpiderWitch, who has quite a few nodes, is also very annoying. One of the harder bosses, in my opinion, but again, we'll get onto her. This is the more challenging fight, though. This is the Doctor Doom. I struggle against Doctor Doom in general, just because I'm sure everyone does, really. I can dex his special attacks, or especially his beams, his beam on his SP1 and SP2, as you'll see in this video. I do quite a good job at dexing them. However, his crit resistance, his block, the amount of damage that he can do, he's a great champ. Obviously, I really wish I had him. He's one champ I absolutely wish I had. I would have taken the Mystic Abyss if I didn't have Rintra, but, you know, obviously I do, who in my opinion is the second best Mystic in the game, so there was no point aiming for just one more Mystic in Doom, so I went with a Mutant. But yeah, he's one of the more challenging defenders along this path. But again, if you're able to take him out, even if it takes you a champ and a half, it's very tricky, so I wouldn't worry. It's also the last quest on 7.1, so it's obviously going to be hard. There is another path that you can take, which is the path which benefits mutants, but you do need some non-robotic bleed immune champs, Omega Red, Colossus, clairvoyant. But that can be a bit annoying, and I believe this is by far the easiest one, especially as science champs are becoming way more relevant and also really, really good. So it's, in my opinion, is heavily worth it. So that is the Doctor Doom fight. I take him out with Thing quite nicely, actually. I didn't think I was going to do that well with him. I sort of took Thing in almost as a bunny. Like, I don't care if he gets killed or not, as long as I can take out some health. And then again, I use Warlock for Archangel, saving my science champs for the SpiderWitch fight. This Archangel, same nose as everyone else, Clapback, Buffet, Eat Crow. Obviously, Warlock works lovely for him. I'm not really sure I'm sure I took in Warlock, but if I took in Gallon, not sure why I did that, but never mind. I must have thought there was a reason behind that. Not too sure what it was, but yeah. Obviously, I can't remember if it goes too well or not. But this Archangel fight is just the regular Archangel fight. You know, you can take him with anyone, really. Push him to the SP2, it's easily dexable. And then it shouldn't be too much of a challenge for you guys, especially if you've made it through all these quests without revives. This fight is very easy. It's the boss that is the main problem. I'll leave you with this fight and get myself prepared for the boss fight. So that fight is done, and we're ready for the boss. Character select. There wasn't really anyone too in my mind of who to take. I don't even remember who I go with, to be honest with you. I think it was probably Rintra, that Immortal Hulk, that was it, to get the reverse controls. That is probably a waste of a character select, I will tell you that. The reason for this, of taking the reverse controls Immortal Hulk, is because SpiderWitch is obviously a combination of Spider-Gwen and Scarlet Witch. She has the evade, which is very annoying in Spider-Gwen, and then all of or Scarlet Witch's abilities. She's got some nodes on her, so Staggering Beauty. While you're close to the defender, you gain a stagger debuff, nullifying your next buff. And then and then as long as you stay far away, those gradually fall off. You've also got Power Build Up. So when the defender reaches 2 bars of power, they gain a indefinite prowess, which increases their special attack by 100%. This is not ideal because what you'll see is both her special attacks, when they are thrown, have reverse controls on them. So what that means is that it's very hard to dex them, and you have to block them. The easiest way to block these are on the parry. So especially the SP1, just try and be far away, dex it, or get far away, and then as the SP1 is thrown, it's about to hit you, parry, and it will do for a lot less damage than it will without, because obviously if you eat it up, it does a lot of damage. As you'll see here, I do quite struggle with this boss. I put some revives in, actually. I think I spent about 140 units or whatever on this. Or maybe less, maybe about 80, I can't remember. But yeah, I was just willing to get it done, get the rewards for it. I wanted this new 6-star basic, so that's the way I went. So of course, that's why I bought Immortal Hulk, to give Overseer and, basically Overseer immunity to reverse controls, which obviously did not work. Because I still wasn't able to dex it. The SP2 is a bit easier to dex. Who actually comes in the MVP here is my Immortal Hulk, weirdly enough. He, in a minute, he goes immortal and does an absolute ton of damage while immortal, which benefits me massively. As you'll see, yeah, as I said, I use 100 units on this. Oh no, I think I have a team revive in like ready, so I don't have to spend any units on that, but I believe I buy maybe another, I'm not sure. So that is, you know, she is very annoying in that sense, the SpiderWitch. She also puts a poison on you if you're if you crit her. So obviously try and bring in someone who's poison immune. I-bomb does work really nicely for this fight. I just could not seem to get it right for some reason. She would sometimes evade me, or I would get hit by that special attack, but it is one of the harder boss fights that I've had to do just because of the reverse controls. Like a couple times you'll see that I try and dex it and I just get it all wrong. It is a very tricky boss, but you have to be careful of the evade. You've got to be careful of the poison from Scarlet Witch's side. Then the reverse controls on her special attacks. The SP1 having doing an absolute ton of damage, even though it doesn't have a prowess, is just annoying. But if you can sort of keep it to a parry heavy 3-hit combo, which I eventually learned to do now. Like, you look at the evading here. I swear I get evaded in every attack I try and do. It is absolutely mental. But anyway, Overseer was very good. If you've got high rated Overseer, then he works really, really well. But yeah, I just don't manage to do this fight too nicely. I wish I'd had another go. I probably will go in and do it again sometime just to learn from my mistakes, have a bit more fun, a bit more of a challenge. But yeah, that's basically it for this path. I believe I have explained everything that this Spider Witch has on her. She isn't poison or bleed immune, so I-bomb does work. He does put a lot of damage on her. I bring in Gallon just to take her health down a little bit with the planetary mass. But yeah, good counters for her are Human Torch again, I-bomb, Overseer with Immortal Hulk in there. They work really nicely. Thing, not ideal, actually, so, I wouldn't. He's good for the path, but maybe not the boss. But yeah, you've got quite a multitude of options to go with. But again, it is a tricky fight, of course. Ghost can work as well. Obviously, she can turn those Furies. Captain America, Infinity War can work really nicely. But obviously, it's a 7.1.6. It's the last quest in a chapter. It's going to be very difficult, and you've just got to be ready for that, and I'm sure you guys will be able to do it, as you have done every boss so far. If it takes you a few revives, so be it. It took me some revives. I'm not the best player in the world, but I'm not I'm not bad either. So of course you just take it as it comes. You might do it first time, and if you do, very well done. Congratulations to you guys. Let me know what you get in the rewards. The rewards will also be at the end of this video, so skip to the end or stick by this video and see who I get in the end. I don't quite remember who it is. Oh no, yes I do. That shows maybe how good it is, or maybe maybe I'm lying. But yeah, see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this. Actually, no, I'll see you at the rewards. So that fight is finally done, thank God. We're back into the rewards. These are the rewards for Chapter 1. You get 25% of a random Tier 5 class catalyst. You also get a 1 to 2 gem, which is random. 10 sig stones, 10k 6-star shards, and 1,000,000 gold. If you explore it fully, you get 25% selector, 25% random, both Tier 5 class catalyst, 1 6-star nexus, 10 random sig stones to a class, 20 basic sig stones, and 1,000,000 gold. So maybe I'll go back through and try and complete this fully, but I'm sure that will cost me a lot of units, and just for a 6-star nexus, maybe it's not worth it. I don't know. As you can see in the Tier 5, in the rank up gem, I get a skill. Not ideal. I need a new skill champ, to be fair. I would love Shang-Chi or Kingpin or Nick Fury, obviously. I think I'm going to save for a few more of the featured crystals to try and get Shang-Chi or Valkyrie. They'd both be amazing. But yeah, as I said, not too lucky. And then with this, I stop it. It doesn't make a difference. You know, those things still go round. It's still a surprise. I may as well have just popped it. Almost pointless doing this. I don't know what is going on with my game at the minute. Last night, or when I was recording it, it was very, very slow. There's definitely calls for a new phone, especially from me. So maybe I'll have to get, buy one soon. But I believe it's now time for the 6-star crystal. After these, I don't know why I do this. I open the little crystals just because they're there, but no one wants to see those. You don't want to see those ones, do you guys? You want to see the big 6 stars. Although, is this going to be a big 6-star? Maybe. Obviously, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, who knows? I keep doing this. I should have maybe cut all of this rubbish out. I'll make sure that's on the to-do list for next time. Who am I hoping for here? A skill champ. A Human Torch would be lovely. I'm not really, I don't know who I'm looking for in particular. One of the new champs, a Valkyrie, obviously. Quicksilver would be lovely. But I'm sort of just hoping to build the roster up for the next Battleground season and for a few quests in the future. However, obviously, in every crystal, my number 1 goal is a Mega Red. I don't get him. Instead, I get Spider-Man Cosmic. That man needs a buff. Do you remember how cool he was in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 film? I remember growing up being 7 or 8. I know, that was a long time ago. And I'm not that old, but yeah, I remember watching that video thinking that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, he definitely needs a buff. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the 7.1 guide, and I'll see you guys in the next video.